The Chargers, -1.5 at the Raiders. The Raiders needed overtime and the game of Josh Jacobs' life last week to beat Seattle. The Chargers are in a spot where they are good enough and they will be getting healthier as the year goes on to not only be a playoff team, but to be a potentially dangerous playoff team. But the only way that can happen is if they got to start winning more games, because the Jets stabilize themselves a bit, it would appear, by putting in Mike White. The Patriots have a brutal schedule moving forward, but if you think the Patriots are going to be able to split with the Bills, and by the way, Patriots-Bills is tonight. You guys will, when you guys hear it, it will have been last night, so we don't pick the Thursday night games anymore. If I were picking a side in that, I would like the Patriots plus the points, but I'm not betting that game either way. The Chargers, this is for if they are going to sneak their way into the wild card and be a dangerous wild card team, they have to build on the momentum of their win against the Cardinals last week. They've got to, because they've got this week, they have the Raiders, and then they have 2 tough games in a row. Granted, they're at home, but they have no home field. They're home for Miami, then home for the Titans. So let's just assume the Chargers lose both of those games. That all of a sudden would put them at 7 losses. So they have to win all of their other games to get to the 10 wins it's going to take to make the postseason. They have the Raiders, then Dolphins, Titans, then Colts, Rams, Broncos. Colts, Rams, Broncos, about as nice of a finishing 3 games as you can have. They need to make it so they're alive going into those final 3. That means they win in Vegas. I like the Chargers' ability to move the football on a Raiders team that has had trouble last week, notwithstanding, getting to the passer all year. I'm only laying 1.5. I don't mind doing that, even though they're on the road. Chargers -1.5.
So last week you had to pick 6 teams to save you from a losing week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a little piece of advice here.
Okay.
You could avoid betting on the two most unpredictable teams in the league.
Well, yeah, listen, I could, but I also think that the Raiders have shown us nothing that they should be, how do I put this? The Raiders are getting less than a field goal. I know they're at home against what I consider a good team. And I understand they just beat the Seahawks in overtime. But prior to that, their only victories this year had come against the Texans and the Broncos. So why do I think the Raiders are going to all of a sudden string together back after winning? By the way, they've already won back-to-back. String together 3 straight wins. I think Josh McDaniels is one of the worst coaches in the league. I think the Chargers are desperate. And the Chargers, to me, are not that unpredictable. They're just incredibly banged up. I think Justin Herbert has a big game. I like the Chargers.
Have their last 2 wins come from overtime?
Yeah, both of them. Both of them walk-off overtime touchdowns. The Devontae Adams touchdown against Russ and the Broncos, right. 22-16, and then the 85-yard Josh Jacobs run. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.